Hi and welcome back to my channel. I am Jodie from JEDS Equine. It's been a while, but I'm here to start the journey, try and hide my mess of an off-the-track racehorse, otherwise known as Ken. Now he's a 6-year-old. His race name was Appetite for Risk. He's by stallion Savabeel and out of a dam called Panna Cotta. And he came to me about a month ago and he's been spelling. He stopped racing 2 months ago, end of December 2023. It's now beginning of March 2024. And he's ready to go up and have a play in the arena. So I'm just giving him a brush because he had a heap of dried sweat on him. It's been so hot. It's meant to be the beginning of autumn. I want to say spring. I have no idea where I am in the world. So I'm going to take him up today. I'm just going to quickly finish brushing him off. Take him up to the arena, walk him around. He's actually not been up there. And then just do a little bit of bending, a little bit of groundwork. And then, yeah, maybe tell you a little bit about him. I've ordered a little microphone thing, but it's not come yet. So if you can't hear anything on the video, I'll do a voiceover. But he got some front shoes on because when he turned up from New South Wales, he had no shoes on and he was so sensitive walking on the stones. He was so sore. So he's got fronts on. He's not impressed about being in the tie-ups. I think maybe he thinks he's going back around the track, which he is not. He's spelled really well. He's been next to Woody in the paddocks and fighting with him. Great, another racehorse. Ex-racehorse. And it's funny because one of my best friends, her ex-boyfriend's Kenny. So it's funny whenever I tell her that, you know, I'm going to go out and hang out with Kenny. But anyway, there he is. Let's go meet him. Hi, Kenny. What do you think? What do you reckon? He says, not impressed. So we're going to take you up to the arena. You're a bit dirty. You need a wash, but we've had an issue with our ball pump, haven't we? So we're on strict rations that unnecessary baths are on hold. Oh, that's very good. Standing still for the camera. Kenny. He's a good boy. You gonna go eventing soon? Yeah. Let me go. So Kenny travelled up here pretty well. He's a bit of a little cutie. Oh, he doesn't want to kiss me though. He's about 16 hands, which if any of you have watched like previous stuff on my channel, you'll know Jet that I had. He's actually wearing Jet's halter. Jet's still here. He's retired. So any of you Kissing Spine followers, yeah, unfortunately it's not really due to his back. It's more due to his hock. But I've still got him, but he's retired. But I love a little pony, a little 16-hand horse. This is my height. Not like Storm, my 5-year-old, who's about 17 hands and is impossible. Well, no, he's not impossible. I don't mean like that, but like I ride him and I feel like I'm riding a bus. Not sure where I'm going with this. Anyway, so give him a little finish brushing him because it's quite dirty. He really needs a wash. He's a bit fed up with the whole brushing. You have a look at the other side. And then, oh, it's not great. He needs to do his mane. Kenny, he's needs to get a little bit better at not squishing me in the tie-ups. He likes to stand on this side and squish me. Oh. But he's been very well behaved actually. Move over, good boy. Yeah, he's been very good. Okay, we'll just brush his mane and then we'll go up to the arena. We're gonna go up to the arena and have a bit of a walk around. Have a look, shall we? Is that good boy? Do a bit of flexing. You need to get a rug on you. You did have a rug on, not sure it's gone. So we need to get a rug back on. It's getting cool enough to wear rugs. So for the groundwork, I'm going to put Kenny in a rope halter rather than just this halter and lead rope. 2 reasons. This is like all connected. It's a little bit softer. It's not like PVC and metal clips pulling on his face. Also, the rope's really long, so I can kind of like push him out onto a bit of a circle. My aim isn't to do much with him today. It's pretty much to take him in the arena, see what he's like, see which side is stiff, see which side's not. Obviously, ex-race horses, or not so obvious, I'm not sure, but ex-race horses or race horses aren't necessarily, they're not really schooled like, you know, show jumpers, dressage horses. They don't really understand the rein aids and the leg aids in the same way. Doing a bit of this groundwork, I'm going to like get him to flex, move away from a little bit of pressure in the girth area. get him used to me touching him. He might not concentrate today. He might be staring off into space. Like he's just been in the paddock, really bored. Okay, so we've made it to the arena. So I'm just going to walk him around a little bit, let him have a look. He's a little bit rude in the fact that he doesn't know where his feet are. He keeps standing on me. So just want him to have a little bit of respect for my space, and then I might start turning him. If I go on to a little bit of a circle, I'll put my gloves on, because if he goes to take off by accident, I don't want rope burn, I don't want to have to let go. So there we go. I'm going to do a little bit of a voiceover. The audio was horrendous on these videos. So I'll try and cut these a little bit short because they're probably a bit pointless. But what I wanted to start off doing was just walking around with Kenny and trying to get him a little bit in sync with me, trying to get him to stop when I stopped. He was a little bit rude and I would stop and he'd kind of keep wanting to walk. So you'll see sometimes I put a bit of pressure on his chest. So there, that was kind of almost like a half halt. Is if he stopped fully, I would take the pressure off quite quickly because I just want him to learn a little bit of pressure. If he's pushing over me, I'd push him back a little bit. He's really not that good at backing up. So that's something we'll have to work on. So did more walking, stop. It got very boring. But as soon as he was stopping quite quickly with me, that was enough and it was time to kind of move his feet around. In tomorrow's videos, which you will see in this vlog, I do explain a little bit more about what I'm doing, but I wanted you to see the first day. So the aim of this turning is to get him to soften sort of through the pole, flex through his belly and through his neck, shoulder, and then step the inside hind under and across while stepping the outside fore across as well. Now, you'll notice that he's quite hard to turn. He turns kind of a little bit, then he'll stop moving his front feet. He was trying to sort of turn his back feet, and his front feet were kind of just getting stuck on the spot. And when he would do that, then he would stop turning his head. There was quite a lot of pressure against my hand on the rein, or he just would kind of swivel his front feet. So he wasn't really flexing, he wasn't bending. Obviously, he doesn't really understand what I'm doing, but I just want you to see the difference and try and kind of understand why I'm doing these things. So I started actually trying to get him to flex a little bit behind his cheek, because he just wasn't understanding the bend, and then he followed the bend really well there. So I do that a little bit more tomorrow as well, but just here. So pulling on his nose a little bit and pushing on his neck and waiting for him to soften, and then just kind of getting him to turn a circle by turning his hind end first. So there he steps over, good boy, and he's just generally softer. Welcome to day 2 with Kenny. Now, yesterday I did film. I think I will have to put the videos in because otherwise you're going to see no progression. But I apologize massively that it was really windy. You probably couldn't hear much at all. Now, as you see today, I've got a microphone. Testing. I think it works. We did a little test before. So basically what I'm going to do with Mr. Kenny is go through the same things. So just turning his feet, trying to get him to bend a little bit. And I might actually do a little bit more backing up today. We didn't do much of that yesterday. But the thing that's interesting is to see how quickly he sort of improves from yesterday to today. Good boy. So this leg, I'm going to try and get him to cross. And at the same time, this outside front leg, I want him to walk them at the same time, and ideally out, not across, but we'll just see. If he turns them together, that's still good. Oh, what are you doing there, Kenny? That's not part of it. Okay, Kenny. Good. Good boy. Good boy. I'm going to have a little bit of pressure on the lead rope at the same time, and eventually when he takes those steps, I also want him to soften on the lead rope. But at the moment, if we can just get him understanding what I want, then that you're clever. Okay, we'll do it again. We'll try with a little bit of contact now. Bit of pressure on the girth. So he's pulling on the rein a little. Good boy. Good. And he's pulling. Good. He says, what the heck? Go. Come on, Kenny. Good boy. So even if he does one step and takes the step and softens on the rein, then I want to sort of let go quite quickly so he understands. And ideally you want to stop on that good step. Sometimes they'll take a good step and you stop and then they take a few crappy steps, which is kind of annoying, but you know. Okay, so we'll go the other way. Good boy. So a little bit of rein, a little bit of push on the girth. Good. So he wants to step into me. Good boy. So keep going until good. Good. Okay, so he didn't soften on the rein there, Kenny. You're ruining my vlog, Kenny. He didn't soften on the rein there, but he took the correct step. So we're going to take that as a win and then we'll go again. Come here, little giblet. Okay. Good. Don't stand on my foot. Good boy. Good. And he's actually offering to stretch down as well. So he does want to step onto me a little bit, but he's still turning and softening a little. So we'll do a little bit with the whip now. Okay, so I'm now going to do the same thing with the whip. So I'll probably stand slightly further away. If I can get him to soften a little bit on the rein, that'll be ideal. And he is a little bit better with the whip. Okay. So, no. Good. Step. So this still kind of really stepping this inside leg into me. Good boy. I know, I'm sorry. So what I really want him to try and understand is that when I'm trying to turn him at the moment, he's just like going, and like falling on me, which as you can imagine, when I get on him, it's probably what I'm going to feel. Like I'm trying to do a circle, he's not going to do this and bend, he's going to fall in. So if we can try and get him to understand he can actually bend from here to here, it'll make our life a lot easier. And it's also putting a little bit of pressure on here is his aid to like bend away when we're on the horse. So we want him to understand that we want, like, when we put a little bit of pressure on his girth, he softens here as well and steps, you know, bends away from the pressure. So it's going to make everything a lot easier once we're in the saddle. So let's try again. Rome wasn't built in a day, Kenneth. So I'm just going to see if I can get him to bend. He gets very stuck in his head. That's it. So yesterday I did a little bit of this. Try and get him to bend here. Hey. Oh, is that a good boy? So might get him soft through the nose and then see if he can follow it. That's a good boy. So sometimes you've got to adapt things a little bit, okay? Because I want him to learn he can actually bend his nose and be soft. So this isn't what I stepped out and intended to do, but you need to soften a little. Bend, Kenny, Kenny. No, don't move your feet, Kenny. So I'm just holding this, putting a little bit of pressure on his neck. Just want him to bend this way a little. Kenneth, Kenneth. Oh, it's a good boy. And then we'll turn. Good boy. So again, he's staring up there up the hill. Don't know what he can see some lights. That's very good, Kenny, but we're not looking up there. Okay, see if we can bend. Bend here. So he's a bit stiff kind of here, right, through the pole and through behind the sheep. Kenneth, Kenneth, Kenneth. Kenny, you can bend. Kenny, oh, is a good boy. That's a good boy. Good. Good. He's just probably forgotten a bit of how to use his body. He hasn't had to bend through his head for a while and through his pole. He's probably held it quite stiff. Hey, let's go. We'll go once more this way and then we'll go the other way. So we might have to start with the nose. Stop staring up the hill, Kenny. Oh, it's a good boy. Can you bend? Oh, good boy. Good. So he might not realise, like he might not put two and two together and realise, oh, I bend around and then I turn. But he's still moving his body more correctly. So who cares? Sometimes you've got to trick them into it. So let's try and see if we can get him to bend. He's a little bit better this way, I think. A little bit of pressure on his head and against his neck, just to get him to turn his head rather than his whole body. So I'm just holding because he's kind of, oh, good boy. And then the minute he sort of softens, I then, oh, that's very good. So I'm not actually watching what he's doing with his feet, not sure what he's doing, but he's still softening and then kind of leading with his head, which means he's not stepping on me because he's not going, he's bending his head first and then walking around in a circle. Clever boy. Let's go once more. Can we? So I'll wait for the softness here. Good boy. And then a little bit of pressure on the girth. Good boy. And then that forward, see? Good. So same time, I don't want him just stepping sideways. I want him to like kind of walk forwards on a bit of a circle. Okay. And then bend. Good boy. So I'll wait for the soften. And as soon as he softens, I'll keep a bit of, good boy. Keep the head coming. Push on the belly. Walk the circle. Good. Take the pressure off. Good boy. That's very good. I'm very happy with that. And that'll do for today. Thanks, guys, for watching part 1. So days 1 and 2 with Mr. Kenny. Don't know if you learned anything. Don't know if I learned much of anything. Don't know if Kenny learned much of anything. But this is going to be a bit of a process. I think sometimes starting a little bit slower at the start kind of makes the progress quicker in the end. Hopefully I'll be on him in not too long, but I think we need to do a little bit more on the ground, get what he's learning here on a bit of a longer line, like trotting, and then hopefully get on him soon. But if you're interested in following along his journey, please make sure that you subscribe and like my channel. You might be here from previously. Also, you can press the alert bells. I will post it on Instagram when I put a video up. I will try and stay consistent. So please nag me if you have any questions about Kenny, off the tracks in general, or my plans. Thanks, guys, for watching. See you next time right here.